Hi there, I'm Megan and I go by Solar Glow Meditations. Tonight we're going to have a distance Reiki session where I have selected some tarot cards to help direct which energy we're going to be working on tonight. And I've also pre-selected some crystals to help direct that energy and shape it into something positive that we can work with. Before we get started, I do need your consent to work on your energy, so either out loud, in the comments, in your head, wherever you feel most comfortable, just consent to receive this healing. And if you guys have requests for other types of videos, please do let me know in the comments. I do read through those and take those into consideration. Don't worry about trying to remember what all the crystals are that I used. I will link those in the comments in case you guys wanted to go find those for yourself. And then if you guys are interested, I do have an ad-free version of this on my members only channel on YouTube. Yeah, a little bit cheaper than YouTube Premium, so get rid of the ads. Let's get started. The first crystal I'm going to be working with today is Apache Tears. It is obsidian laced in with some other sort of rock that I can't remember what it is, but it comes from the Southwest in the United States and probably down into Mexico a little bit. Volcanic rock. And it's really good for grounding, relaxing, settling into the energy. As we start to settle in today, just start to take a deep breath in, let it out through your nose. Do a couple of those just at your own pace. Relax into the session. So the energy that I've been getting for this session and what the cards have sort of shown me is this sort of struggle that you've been going on internally, and it's robbing you of your joy a little bit. It's like you've done something that you've loved for so long and it's transformed from being something that is exciting and something that you look forward to into almost a sort of chore. And so it feels like there's this pull back and forth of trying to bring the joy back to the activity versus continuing to bring others joy by doing your activity. It's really this like dichotomy of service to self versus service to others. And your view of the situation has maybe changed from having both of those things work in harmony to being in conflict with one another. And they don't have to be. You can absolutely have both. It's very much a perspective shift on your part. And that's how you got here in the first place. You shifted your perspective. And one of the challenges when you're doing something for others and doing it for yourself is you got to where you're at because you did it for yourself. You did it because you loved it. But one of the things that starts to creep in as time goes on and you start listening to feedback from folks is that you start to turn away from what makes you happy to try and make others happy and meet expectations that people have thrust upon you even without your asking. And that becomes very challenging because so many of us, there's a good chunk of you guys that are watching this too, want to please others, want to make them happy. But you're doing so at the expense of yourself. Feel this like recognition kind of starting to pop up in your energy a little bit. Okay, so what we're going to do next, now that we've sort of understood and recognized this energy, this situation, is I've got a piece of labradorite here. I want to bring the magic back to whatever this activity is. I want to infuse it with fun, want to make it yours. Bring you back to you. I feel this going straight for your third eye and your brain. And it's very much raising your vibration, raising the focus up to your head. Send some of this straight to your heart chakra too. Do you remember what this activity felt like when you first started doing it? The excitement, the fun, the nervousness of not wanting to like mess whatever it up is as you're learning and going through the process. I'm seeing this, you're getting a picture, I think, in your head too, of like the beginning, this is what this is, energy. I'm seeing some sort of like funny moment pop into your brain of when you just absolutely started laughing so hard at whatever it is you were doing. It was just so funny. I want you to think of that joy, hold on to that joy of that moment in time doing this thing. Just smile, just allow it to infuse your entire body. Allow yourself to be excited, to want to. What was different when you wanted to, when you didn't feel like it was anything but exciting and fresh and getting this like almost a welling of tears because you miss that like feeling so much. And just the joy and laughter and everything that goes with it. Just allow that to pour through down to your toes, out to your fingertips, all through your aura, above your crown, down into the earth. Good. The next crystal that I've pulled out is malachite. You've already found success with this hobby, this activity, whatever it is, this business, this job, this. The success is there. It's just the joy that's lacking. And part of what brought you that success is the joy. And so it becomes this kind of self-reinforcing cycle. But when you've disrupted that with the, I don't want to, this is a drag, you've disrupted that cycle, and so things no longer flow freely like they used to. And so what is that thing that stopped you? Was it that feedback that everyone's giving you? You need to allow this energy to flow again, to make you happy, to build you back up. I just felt a very intentional wave of relaxation and just falling into this energy, just realigning. This energy feels like it's like pulsating. It's like your heart is racing. Feels like some of that excitement is building back up again. We are going to use Cinnabright next. This one's giving me chills. There's this openness, this little bit of spark, this spicy. The card that was drawn to kind of go along with this portion of the energy is all about tension and conflict. And I feel it's there. But I think the thing you don't realize is that you're not in competition with anybody else. You're in competition with yourself. Oh, double chills coming through. It is competition to learn to grow, to do and be better and mold and to flow and to allow the world to change you, but remain true to yourself. And I feel this like recoil at allowing the world to change you, because how we got here was this feedback, this external noise. And Spirit is showing me these two things are very different. Listening to the chatter, to the feedback, to the words people have is different than listening to the energy and the flow of the world. As humans, we have this negativity bias where we could receive thousands and thousands of wonderful messages and comments and feedback, but you get one that's just so negative and hits just this nerve of something that's been bothering you, and you can't see the thousands and thousands of positive things because they're all outweighed by this one negative thing. And perhaps it's not the quantity of messages that's the point here. It's recognizing that one little negative comment that's bugging you, what this person says or provides feedback for, doesn't actually matter. It's triggering you in something that you need to go look at and grow with and figure out, because it's bothering you. If you were strong and confident in whatever it is this person said about your product, your business, your job, whatever it is, then what they said wouldn't matter to you because you are strong and confident in your style and your actions and your output. But because it bothered you, feel into that energy. What is it about it that bothers you? And is it actually something that bothers you? Feel into that energy. But do so in the context of those thousands and thousands of good messages. Perhaps it's just an idea that you haven't explored before, and all you need to do is sit and reflect on it and say, oh, this doesn't actually matter to me. I don't need to be impacted by what this person says. I choose to not react to this thing. I choose to move on and pay attention to these thousands and thousands of positive things. But don't allow one negative thing to outweigh and to eat at you and to take over what is such a good and positive thing. I pick out these crystals ahead of doing the reading, and I do the reading, and when I start it doesn't usually make sense, but as I flow through the energy it tends to start to shape into this message and this transmission. And the last crystal I picked here is Tiger's Eye, which I did not realize this going in. Tiger's Eye is my confidence stone. It is such a great grounder and a stand in your power stone. And this, I didn't even remember what this card was until I just looked down just now, and it's all about this inner truth and quiet power. And by having this quiet power, standing in your strength, the outside feedback no longer matters. And does that return you to your joy that you originally started with in this task? Perhaps. I hope so. I want to return you to that place of joy. This confidence will reinforce that ability to feel joy, to be excited, to shut out the noise, to remind yourself that you are awesome and you are doing this for you, not for anybody else. You are incredible, and you don't need me to tell you that. You know that. There's this, like, I don't even feel like I need to keep going with this session anymore because you know you're awesome. I know you're awesome. It doesn't matter that I know you're awesome because you know you're awesome. So we're gonna end this right here because any more tiger's eye energy I can give you, it doesn't make a difference. You already know. So I'm so glad for you, friend. Find your joy, find your excitement, and I'll be right there with you. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.